1.41, public participation on
1.3.
You can stand for pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public participation, I received no request for public participation. 1.42 is recognition of students, staff, and community. Aaron will do that.
Congratulations to Madison Beckman on being named to the Big South Conference Girls Basketball All-Conference Honorable Mention Team. Congratulations to intermediate school student Donovan Hubbard in receiving second place in the 5th grade individual round of competition at the Math Masters competition in Marshall. Congratulations to Peer 2, Kaye 2, Wendy Martin Vicente, Kendra Sandoval, and Kendra Sandoval, who advanced to state competition in the Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America's Students Taking Action with Recognition contest in January. Congratulations to Isaac Kinzer and Angela Daly for placing 1st and 3rd at the Section 2AA tournament. They advanced to the MSHSL AA tournament competition. Alondra Leon Flores placed 4th in oratory, and Austin Kinzer placed 6th in extemporaneous reading.
Okay, thank you. Give a round of applause for all. 1.43, we have the recognition for the music department, and Aaron will also read that.
Our District 518 Music Department will be receiving the official recognition from 2 regional National Association of Music Merchants tonight, that's NAMM, at the school board meeting. District 518 Schools is one of 9 Minnesota school districts to be honored with the Best Communities for Music Education designation from the NAMM Foundation for outstanding commitment to music education. Fellow Minnesota honorees include Anoka Hennepin Schools, Austin Public Schools, Minneapolis Public Schools, Minnetonka Public Schools, Mounds View Public Schools, Osseo Area Schools ISD 279, Springfield Public Schools, and Ullin-Hitterdal Public Schools. The Best Communities for Music Education designation is awarded to districts that demonstrate outstanding achievement for providing music access and education to all students. To qualify, schools answer detailed questions about funding, graduation requirements, music class participation, instruction time, facilities, support for the music program, and community music making programs. So next we have a couple of individuals who are going to make a few remarks. We have Mike Gundren, the president of Raise Midbell Music of Sioux City, Iowa, as well as Roland Beard from Poplars Music. Welcome.
My name is Mike Thompson, for those that don't know me. I just wanted to acknowledge some of the different music entities that we have in the room tonight. All of the District 518 music staff were able to make it tonight, including representatives also from the Worthington Area Symphony Orchestra, Memorial Auditorium, the Worthington City Band, all of which were huge parts as to how we got this community award. Eric Parrish from Worthington Chamber Singers was not able to make it tonight, but he also wanted to send and make sure that he knew that, we were recognizing this tonight. Behind me again, we already introduced Sam. Rollin is going to speak first real quickly, and then Mike will speak.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Roland Beard, and I'm with Poplars Music in Sioux Falls, and I've been working with the Worthington School District since Poplars opened their branch in Sioux Falls in 2016. It takes several elements to have a successful music program: a dedicated and committed music faculty, and also a supportive administration and school board. And this award shows that Worthington School has both of those. So again, I'd like to offer my congratulations to everybody in Worthington, and I look forward to future work and support of the music department of Worthington School District.
Thank you, Ron. Thanks, Mr. Thompson, for inviting us here this evening. My name is Mike Gunter, and I'm the owner of Raise Mid-Bell Music in Sioux City, and we've been serving area schools for over 50 years, and here in Worthington for over 15 years. And I'd like to express my gratitude to Mr. Thompson and the music educators here for inviting us here tonight at ISD 518 to honor your music programs. We're excited to bring attention to such an esteemed recognition. It's a really big deal. Each year, the NAM Foundation, a nonprofit supported by the International Music Products Association, recognizes the best communities for music education in the entire United States. So, just for some data here, there's over 13,000 school districts in this country. And so, this prestigious award honors only the top 7% for excellence in music education. This year, ISD 518 Worthington, Minnesota is the recipient of one of these prestigious awards, earned by offering exceptional music programs and opportunities for students to be involved in music, and an active investment in school music by the board of directors and administration. As a musician myself, serving music education is my life's work. And as your local music dealer and servicing partner for ISD 518 for over 15 years, we're honored to be here tonight to celebrate this achievement with the district, music educators, and the students. Congratulations to all the music educators at Worthington, and I would like to specifically mention your instrumental music team, who I had the pleasure of witnessing their deep dedication to their students weekly. Mike Thompson, Melanie Loy, Kaylee Zervis, Zach Paulson, Morgan Rexalis, and Jeanette Jensen. So first I'd like to present the plaque to the administration and Board of Education, recognizing your commitment to music education. This plaque reads, Raise Mid-Bell Music proudly recognizes Worthington Independent School District 518 for being awarded a 2024 Best Communities for Music Education Award. Congratulations. You can probably give that to Mr. Vanguard. Try to run here. I know you got a board meeting to get on with. So next, we'll distribute framed banners to hang proudly in each band, orchestra, and vocal room in each building. Look like this. They just read Independent School District 518, Worthington, Minnesota, for outstanding support of music education, enriching the lives of children and advancing student achievement. This is the 25th year for the Best Communities in Music Education Award. So we'll have these for the 3 programs in each building. And then lastly, I'd like to present this donation to the district in the amount of $500 to be used towards future goods or services with Raise Mid-Bell Music. So thank you again for this opportunity, and congratulations, ISD 518.
Okay, moving on. Again, thank you very much to the music department. Great job. Very proud of the district. Approval of agendas, 2.1 and 2.2, consent and main agendas.
Approval of consent main agenda.
Motion by Adam, second by Tom, to approve the consent and main agendas as listed. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 3.0, approval of minutes.
I make motion to approve the minutes from the approval of the March 19, 2024 school board minutes and accept the committee minutes.
Okay, motion by Steve,
Second.
second by Lori to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 4.0 consent agenda. Approve the items on the consent agenda.
I move approval of the items on the consent agenda.
Okay, motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Aaron to approve the items on the consent agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 5.0 main agenda, 5.1 monthly financial overview.
So I'll try and do this in Mr. Skoge's absence, but if you look in where we're at compared to last year on the general fund revenue, we're tracking our overall, all the funds, we're tracking slightly below where we were at last year, 68% versus a little over 70%. If you look on the expenditure sideline, we're also tracking lower on the expenditures, just under 68%, and a little compared to a little over 73% last year. With that, there are really no unusual or high expenditures that have occurred. So everything seems to be following as we are getting close to the end of the year to be on track.
Okay, any questions for John? Hearing none, we'll move on to the 5.2. Approve resolutions relating to termination and non-renewal of teaching contracts.
So this one, if you'll notice, there is, I gotta look for sure here. 15 non-renewals that we're looking at. Some are related to licensure. Some are identified as potential performance. And then again, those are the two primary areas, or could be related to budgetary items in that department. But most of it's really performance or licensure. And typically, we've done these individually, but you do have it where it's one agenda item, so you could look at doing it in one motion. I believe last year you did them in one motion, if I remember correctly.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve the termination and non-renewal of teacher contracts as presented in item 5.2.
Motion by Steve,
I'll second the motion.
second by Lori to approve the non-renewals of the contracts listed. All at one time.
Yeah, that's how Steve put it.
Any discussion?
So John, if it is a licensure issue, then we rehire or allow them to finish out what the variant is, the variance or what the,
So, yeah,
Probation is.
if it's a licensure issue, it means that example, in a tier 1 licensure, they get non-renewed, or a person can be non-renewed. Based on that, we have to put out, and potentially if somebody is a license and has a license for that area, we have to interview. Does not necessarily mean that they're the ones that would get rehired, but anybody who's a tier 1 being non-renewed could get rehired, depending on applications and what we have.
Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second. This is a resolution. This is a roll call vote.
Dudley.
Aye.
Mr. Lorenz.
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Prince.
Aye.
Mr. Bloom.
Aye.
Mr. Schneider.
Aye.
Motion passes. 5.3, approve resolution relating to the issuance of general obligation school building bonds and calling for a special election.
So this would be the next step in moving forward with the election that you had designated to look at holding on August 13th. And the resolution is relating to issuing those bonds once the election has occurred. So if it passes, it would allow for going out and issuing those bonds. Likewise, it's calling for holding that election on August 13th.
Okay, we need a motion if we're going to do this.
I move approval of the resolution relating to the issuance of general obligation school building bonds and calling for the special election.
Okay, motion by Steve,
I'll second the motion.
second by Lori to approve the resolution relating to the general obligation of school building bonds and calling for the special election, which should be August 13th.
I just want to make a comment that I've never really been a big fan of the August election, and I'm not against this high school project, but I kind of do fear a little bit that pushing it to August, there's some negative comments out there, and I'm not so sure that a referendum is going to be a success. I mean, we don't know that regardless, but I just don't know if that's enough time to, between now and then, to message people on on how to vote for it and what the need is for. So I guess I don't support an August 13th election at this time.
Adam, what do you propose as an alternative?
Well, I've just always felt that time is important, you know. When I first got on, that was finally the intermediate school, and I know you guys had gone through other stuff, and I've always felt that the November or the February time frame would be something that we could maybe inform people a little better. You know, I've questioned now after hearing some people, maybe we should have gathered some input from people and shown them what we were going to be doing, what we were proposing. Maybe we had a couple options, which we did. I mean, technically, we still really don't exactly have a clear-cut path of which direction we're going, do we? If we're going to do 8 classrooms, if it's going to be science department, what is it going to be? And I don't know, I'm just a believer in more time. You know, and then
Go ahead.
we all know how people feel about their taxes right now. People are upset. I don't have that answer. I've always kind of felt August is pushing the issue for an election, and I guess that's where I stand tonight yet.
When I know I did advocate for an August election because I think there are challenges in doing a referendum in a general election time, so in November. But I also advocated for an August election when there was a vocal consensus among the board for moving forward with a referendum. And I do think that with such a big project at hand, consensus is really important to build if we're going to set an example and advocate for such a big project. You know, we're in it now. We're obviously not all the way in it because we haven't voted on this yet. But, you know, I get where you're coming from, Adam, and I'm wondering, like, what would the implications be if we considered a February referendum instead? I mean, we looked at the budget side of things a few months ago and said, well, it's, you know, construction costs are growing at, you know, 4% a year or something like that. So, but you can always say there's no better time than the present. But, you know, I do really value the concept of consensus. And so if there's more discussion or conversation that could be had among us as a board, I would welcome that option.
So, again, this is what's in front of you. This was the consensus and the direction 2 months ago. Yeah, we knew the timeline was short, but again, I'm going to reiterate what ICS told you. With this, kicking the election back to after the first of the year, you're adding at least 4% to the project, maybe more. And with that, then it means potentially asking taxpayers for more. So instead of a 15.3, it could be more. And with that, I get that the planning for this, you have a general diagram. Does it mean X is going to go here and Y is going to go here? That will get worked out. And of course, it'll be addressed as part of within the budget that's been established. So, I mean, at this point, like I said, as a board, you came to a consensus in the work session. This is where you wanted to head. This was the direction that was put there. I get it's fast. We've already moved. We're moving along. I gave you a copy of what is the calendar to move along, and that's all laid out along with the election timelines, which this is from the attorney. It's slightly different than what MSBA, so we're going to have to get a little clarification on those. But right now, the ball's moving forward. We have a website already established. We have a logo that's already figured out, so we're well into the process. The communication will come, and that will come shortly. So I think people will be informed. I believe they will be informed. And again, even though this sounds like a lot of money you would be looking to put into this, it's really pretty reasonable, I think, based on the tax side. 45% of this project would come from taxpayers, 55% would come out of the district funds. I think that's being prudent on your part. So with that, then, I guess I would recommend you approve this and we keep moving on, and we'll get the communication done.
So that's a question I have for you, John. Another thought I've had as time has gone on is we're going to use a lot of district money. We aren't going to have a lot of reserve left going forward. How do you feel that'll impact our district, not having much reserve?
You're well above the minimum that you have in policy. You'd still be above that level. Right now, based on where we're at and what's there, you're fine. The problem that's going to be is what the legislature does and where that goes. And I can tell you I expressed it at the end of the last meeting. Everybody thinks, well, there was a historic investment, but they put a lot of money in categorical dollars, not necessarily what I call general fund unrestricted dollars. And that does limit the expenditures, and it does limit what you can budget in certain areas. Do I believe you will be fine for now? Yes. Will it be that way? It depends on what you do and how you approach the future. And if you stay ahead of what I call declining costs, or staying ahead and reducing costs as you can each year, you should financially be able to remain solid. But that doesn't mean, and this is the difference that exists, it doesn't mean that you can have 15 kids in a classroom and economically make that work. It doesn't mean that in a regular general education class you can have under 20 and continue to fund that. And will there be some trimming in the next 4, 5, 6 years? Absolutely. But that's how you maintain financial stability. And will everybody be excited what gets proposed to be trimmed in the future? Probably not. There'll probably be a lot of disagreements, but there will be some of that down the road.
So, John, you're talking about trimming in the future. So if we would save our reserves, we wouldn't have to trim in the future? We could maintain the same program we're going if we would not spend our reserves?
I don't have a good crystal ball, but if you limit some of the expenditures, it would limit when that cutting or trimming has to happen.
So if we would propose a later date for a referendum, I mean, ICS is kind of projecting a 4% increase in construction. The economy just can't keep going. Inflation, you talk to a lot of people, we're going to have changes. So if we would prolong this, is there a chance of getting a cheaper interest rate and construction costs going down with things? I mean, it's a crystal ball. We're kind of putting faith in ICS saying, expect a 4% increase.
So
to me, that's a sales pitch. I mean, it could be down 4% next year. We've seen that in other bids in other years where the bid comes in less than what they're expecting. I know we don't know what's going to happen, but I don't know. I just feel after talking to a lot of people, a lot of comments, it's just kind of, they feel they're being pushed.
Sure. See. Yeah, I understand how doing building projects is always a hard sell for the public and sometimes for the board too. But we've identified the needs, and I think we've identified a project that's within our budget and within our ability to do it. Being involved in not the building construction industry, obviously, but other construction through the years and stuff, I found that you do have a few years once in a while where things might go down a little bit or stabilize, but most often, and in the more recent history, like the last 10, 15 years, things have consistently been going up. I thought when they were projected 4% increase, I thought they were being a little low on their projection, quite frankly, because most everything else we've been seeing has been going up more than that. But I think it's a project we should move ahead with and stuff. The public needs to be informed and will be informed, and that's our responsibility as a school district to give them the information and get it to them. I think the longer we wait, the longer we penalize ourselves in potential costs, but along with that, I think we also penalize our students and staff by not having the facilities that we need to do the education properly. I don't really feel we're rushing it. I think we've had discussion about this for quite some time, and I think it's been moving along at a reasonable pace, and I think we need to keep it moving forward to get it done. If for some reason it wouldn't pass, we always have to deal with that reality. If it should happen, we always hope it doesn't. But what we found in the past when referendums didn't pass, our project costs did go up and continue to go up, and our ability to provide the educational programs becomes more difficult because of lack of space or cramped facilities. So I think it's to our benefit to bring it to the public and tell them what our needs are and let them vote on it. I think this is a better time of year to do it right now and get it going in the long run to get the project started if it needs to get started. than it is to wait and prolong it and then, just creates more problems within the district by not doing it than it is to move it forward and try and get it done. So I think we ought to keep it moving forward. We've gotten to this point. I think we owe it to our constituents to keep moving forward with it and let them have the vote as soon as possible to know where we stand.
Any further discussion?
I just say I agree with Mr. Schneider on this. If we have the election in August, or that's 4 months from now, 7 months is November, or wait till next February. I mean, what I have felt from the past votes, the no is going to be no, and the yes is going to be yes, and it's kind of that middle of the road where we need to educate our public of why we need that. So to me, there's no reason to wait, especially when you have we don't have the crystal ball, but it could be a 4% increase. And we do have the ball rolling, and we were in agreement several months ago to get that ball rolling. So I'm in favor of keeping the ball going at this point.
And I'm not saying I'm against the project by saying this. It's always been a question this August election, myself, and to be real honest, if this don't work, I'm not looking towards lease levy. I just don't feel comfortable doing that.
Any further discussion? It's my feeling that delaying it, though, I don't believe will change the vote. I think either up or down, August, up or down in November, I honestly think the result's going to be the same within a few months. I don't think you're going to do I think it's just going to make it more complicated for people. I think it can be explained what we need. If it doesn't go, we still have 20 million to invest in some of the major issues if you want to. That's a decision later, but I think delaying it just makes it more difficult. So I think we can, they'll tell us up or down, then we'll have to proceed from there. I don't think the vote will change from November till August. But that's up to the board. Any further discussion? This is a resolution.
Yes.
It is.
Roll call vote.
Roll call vote. If you're ready to vote.
Dudley.
Okay.
Aye.
Mr. Lorenz.
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Friends.
Nay.
Mr. Bloom.
Nay.
Mr. Schneider.
Aye.
Okay, resolution passes. Go on to 5.4, approve notice of special election.
So the notice is the notice that gets put up and sent out regarding the special election. So it'd be approving that notice.
I move approval of the notice of the special election.
Motion by Lori,
Second, Steve.
seconded by Steve to approve the notice of special election. This is just a procedure thing. Any further discussion? All those, this is a roll call. This is not roll call. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
The motion carries. 5.5, approve to an employee's leave of absence.
We have an employee that's requested leave of absence due to personal reasons. It is from June 3rd through September 3rd. And so pretty much June, July, and August are the days. And based on the circumstances and the personal issues, I'd recommend approval.
I move approval of the employee's leave of absence.
Motion by Adam,
Second.
seconded by Aaron to approve the employee's leaves of absence through June, from June through August of '24. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 5.6, approved student expulsion.
I move approval of this student expulsion.
Motion by Steve,
Second by Tom.
second by Tom. Any discussion? It's a roll call vote.
Dudley. Aye.
Mr. Lorenz.
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Prinz.
Aye.
Mr. Bloom.
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Move on to reports. John?
So I just have one thing I want to bring up. There's an article in the Globe related to potential project of 49 units out at the Great Life Golf Course. And in the article, it insinuates that the district is putting matching funds into this project. And I want to make sure it's clear for everybody that's viewing or listening that the district has not committed any funds to that project, nor has there been a request to the district for any funds. If this moves forward, what we provided was a letter of support that we need additional housing in the community, and that's what was shared on our part. If it moves forward and they decide to move forward, they could request through the Nobles Home Initiative or a straight request a tax abatement. But at this point, that has not been done. And if there were a tax abatement, that would be a 5-year abatement based on the Nobles Home Initiative. And at this point, I just want to make sure it's clear because there was confusion. I received a phone call about it, and I know there was some upset people in regards to it. And I want it clear that the district has not committed any funds to this project. And that's all I have tonight.
Okay. Thank you, John. Instructional committee,
Everything has been reported on.
everything has been reported. Operations,
Nothing further.
nothing further. Okay, any other reports? Any other business? Any future business? Okay, hearing none, we'll call the meeting adjourned.